van tour.
Take two.
What we've done to the van, thought we'd start at the back, so we added the washing machine. Well, we didn't.
We added a washing machine and then it leaked water in our van, and so we took that washing machine out and we paid someone to put a really expensive washing machine in.
So now we have a front loader that's on at the moment. It uses 18 litres of water, and it no power.
And 40 watts.
Yeah, so it's awesome. That's in there with all our stuff shoved around it. And in here, we added this and this and took out the bar in the middle because
we had to leave a little bit behind, but yeah.
A little bit, so that the cupboards can shut. But before, the kids sort of shared this whole shelf and this whole shelf, and all their stuff just got stuffed and stuck in the back. So you got these from...
It's the people who supply the special lightweight plywood to the caravan manufacturers, and we bought a whole sheet.
Yeah, so we have lots of it. But it's the same shiny stuff. It's light and it fits in, so just don't look too close. But that made it so we could put...
do you want me to take a step back?
No. The towels up here, games, and then the kids each have their own shelf. And they've got these tubs for their clothes from IKEA. They're like $3, I think. I think they're called Stub or Stuck. I can't remember.
They look like a piece of cardboard when you get them.
Yeah, they're in the wardrobe department, and then these ones are in the kids department. Phoebe doesn't get one of these in there because of this, so she just shoves her jumpers and jackets in the middle. But that's so they can sort of stay organised. Kids' beds, Marcus is empty at the moment because we're in ISO, and so he's taken his mattress inside because that's what he wanted to do. But usually his mattress is here, but we've added the little fusion lock caddies to their beds, and
some pictures.
Yeah,
and some souvenirs.
If you go into these, they've also got these. Marcus is off at the moment because it's on his thing, so they put all their junk in there. We've got it's called Manchester, isn't it? The Doona covers from Navigator by Trip in a Van, and they sort of go underneath the mattress like a fitted sheet at the bottom, and they're really easy to make. So at the moment it's a bit of a mush up because it's washing day. We're trying to get everything clean, so that's what they look like. Then they've got
ladder. The ladder is not a ladder.
The ladder is not a ladder. Our kids don't use it. They climb up here. So they've got their things hanging on it, the hooks for all their stuff. There's more in here because they've got heaps. Same in the bathroom. We've added those hooks everywhere. In here, you can see. If you can get in, I'll just hide in the shower while you.
There's towels hanging so they get more air, and hanging on this door and the back of that door.
Yeah, we have the fusion lock in here and the toiletries caddies, and then same in here. Then we have our little I'll post a link where you can get those toiletry ones. The fusion lock of Bunnings. That's our little line, because usually it's just little things, or if it's wet and we need to hang stuff because we don't have the awning out or whatever. Next is the fridge. We got rid of our 184 litre Thetford 3-way and got a 285 litre
compressor
fridge. Up here was...
Well, starting from about there, it used to be a microwave.
Up there was the microwave, which is now Simon's
so I housed the
hole.
MPPT charge controllers and the communication box for the solar system and a couple of other bits and pieces. There's going to be a dividing wall put in there in the next day or two with a bit of luck.
Yeah, maybe. This fridge has this little lock on here. Just tape it up if you go on corrugated roads, because we've discovered, like, we caught it in time, but it had moved to like there. I think that was at Port Gibbon. Yeah. So yeah, you need to put a bit of tape. Sounds like we're about to have children interrupt us, but that's fine. So the inside of the fridge, we have these. It's a bit empty at the moment because we are half living in the cottage and half living in the van. But all our containers usually have our food in them. At the moment, it just looks like it's an alcohol and snack fridge. And then the freezer is pretty much icy poles and ice cubes.
Some meat.
A little bit of meat. Another fusion lock in here, which usually has our tea and coffee, but that's in inside the cottage at the moment. But that stays on, and this wall is not smooth either. It's like, it's fake wood.
Texture.
So it's got the texture of wood there, but they still stay on, and they've stayed on the whole time. They've never come off. That cupboard is all your mess. Cups, not much to sort of see in there. Here we've put the Kmart carousels. I think they're in the pantry section. That means that you can get to the back of the cupboard a bit easier. Our cutlery drawers, I do not have anything fancy. It is literally a cutlery drawer. So I've seen some people put those little hidden ones in so that they can put this and the other stuff in there. We haven't done that. Ours is just like a normal kitchen. That is the utensil drawer that is also full of shit, and you rummage through. That's just is what it is. And then there is our bowls, plates, cups.
So the kids can get to them.
Yeah, we did start with them
Up there. Up there.
up there. Up there was where the plates and cups and everything were. Now it's like kettles, coffee machines, blenders, and coffee cups. Because the kids couldn't reach it, because for some reason our bench and overheads are a lot higher than the standard caravan. I think standard vans, they're like here, the bench. Ours is extra high. I don't know why, but it is. It's cool because it gives us this massive cupboard down here that has all our cleaning stuff in there. We don't use the oven. It stores plastic bags.
And
So
occasional milk. Coloured
Yeah.
milk.
the bed, here, I'll take it and you can, because you did your little
Lift.
thing. Yep, so Simon did these. Extended the bed so we could put a regular sized queen mattress on there.
Extended this, that bar there on either side, and then welded it back in, obviously. It added about 75 mil, I think, off the top of my head, from the fully extended base position the way it was. And then I added these legs because there's quite a bit of counterlever from this bed box to the edge of the bed. You can see they're probably near on 600 mil. And because it's close to the door, people would come into the van, sit on the end of the bed, and the bed frame would... there's some discussion about extending this box a little bit to house a diesel heater. That might be a job for when we get home.
But it keeps beer under there now.
Keeps beer.
And shoes and
But that
air
is
fryer.
a genuine queen size mattress.
From IKEA, which was 10 kilos lighter than the
caravan
caravan mattress. So doesn't have the corners. It's a straight bed, so you can't, like over here especially, you can't get around, but
You could never get around that easily.
we never did anyway. In the cupboards, I'll go over if you want. Or do you
That's
wanna-
all right.
The middle ones we haven't added anything to. We just have storage tubs from IKEA in there, and then Simon added an extra shelf. So we didn't have the bottom middle one. Yeah, that shelf.
That
so
shelf's new.
yeah, again, it was those massively high, deep cupboards that are useless
Just
and you
like
lose.
the black hole that go cutter.
Yeah, so added those.
We talked about maybe sticking another one in here, but
Yeah, but you can sort of see, because they're those angle, it's useless. You'd be able to do nothing with it. So
this is to stop the condensation,
yeah,
maybe.
a little bit.
And there's a piece underneath the back of the mattress, isn't there?
Yeah, we put a bit of foam at the back of the mattress to help with insulation. Our hat hanger, which is from I Not in Brisbane, I'll post her link. I think she's only on Facebook, but I'll post that. We also have another fusion lock here for all of our charger cords, so they're all in one
Mess.
mess that's not all over the place.
And then,
Yeah, so
there's another one of those caddies up here.
with all our stuff. So we've been
Sometimes can turn all the way around.
had to do
Oh, we changed this over too,
yep.
because the radio that came with the caravan was less than optimal, I think is probably a polite way to put it. And this has got Bluetooth and
yeah, it was crap, and they wired the speakers wrong. So
they had all the speakers wired together, so it didn't matter whether you balanced or faded, everything played. So now we can turn the speakers outside off and just have speakers inside, or vice versa. Got another caddy and some.
Yeah, it's sort of, we're a bit all over the place. We stocked the cupboards full.
Like that.
Like this. Before we hit the Nullarbor, and again we had to do a contactless shop here in Esperance because we are in isolation at the moment. So, and that's we do have.
You're holding out on me.
We've got the little shelves at the back so that you can layer stuff up because these cupboards are huge. And maybe I think though if you put a shelf in the middle, then you wouldn't have enough room for other things. So just. Yeah, leave it.
We're playing around with the best way to do it, so that I'm leaving them out.
That's it. Kids come. So Simon's going to go through his little outside run. We figure as we're doing the van, we'll do the solar system. The van is filthy though, so bear in mind we've been on the Nullarbor, and then we've had extreme heat here in Esperance, and then insane wind. So. That's why the van's disgusting on the outside.
Alright, so a lot of people approach adding solar to their vans based on I'm going to put extra panels on. It's not probably the right starting point. The right starting point is what am I going to do? How much is that going to use from a power perspective? And how much battery do I need to be able to do that? And then once you know how much battery you need, how much solar do I need to be able to charge that up?
Meanwhile, my skirt's flying up. Keep going.
So that can be really challenging. Well, that can be really easy when you're designing a van from the ground up, like Tripping a Van have and those guys. But when you've got an existing van, retrofitting big solar onto it can get really, really hard. So what we've done is we've left everything that was in our van exactly the way it was. The battery management system, the fuel, the fusing, cabling, everything. The only thing that we've done is disconnect a wire that goes from this point here to that point there. And in the middle, between those two things, we've put an inverter that's inside the van. And so now when I plug in like this, this power goes to my inverter charger, and my inverter charger decides what it's going to do with it, whether it needs to run the load in the van or charge the batteries. And then the output from my inverter charger comes back here to my safety switch, so I can turn it off, and powers the van as if the van's plugged in all the time. So the van doesn't really know that it's got a big solar system on it. The van just thinks that it's plugged into a power point and it's got a battery down here, 12 volt battery that for some reason never goes flat. And then what I've added to it sits above, and we can talk about that inside. So we're using a Victron system. This is an inverter charger. So if you think about it, it's got a battery charger in it and an inverter, and the battery sits in the middle, which is this part here, and we're either putting power into the battery or we're taking it out of the battery to power our things. It has some other smarts in it which allow the inverter to assist with power from the outside world, so that you can slow the rate that your batteries are running down on. For example, if we've got a 1000 watt genset, a little Honda generator, and yet we've got quite a big load in the caravan, we can run that genset and top up the output of the genset with the batteries and get a longer life. So in here We've got inverter charger with those two lines that come from the front of the van. There's an isolator on the DC side, and then these are the DC buses. So that all the batteries come into this bus. There's a jump over here. This is a shunt, which is like a fancy calculator. It calculates the energy that's going to the batteries and coming from the batteries and shows it up on the screen. And then there's another effectively power board or DC bus on this side, which has a supply from the solar system. It supplies power to the inverter, and it also supplies power to the DC-DC converter and takes power from the DC-DC converter. So there's a line here, this one here, you can see for this switch here that isolates all the solar system. And then, yeah, I'll take that. Up in here, above our fridge, you can see I've got the cables coming through the roof from all the solar panels, and then there's 5 MPPT charge controllers, another one of those DC buses, and the controller for our colour display. And then this is the original cupboard, and basically there used to be a solar single cheapy solar controller here. I've pulled that out and thrown it in the rubbish bin, and we run 2 countdown gauges now on the water tanks, so we can see how much water in litres we have left, rather than seeing 3/4, half or quarter empty. The rest of everything else in the van's exactly the same, and we get to, you can drill down into this colour controller and see, so you can see our panels, you can see the daily history of the output of that. You can scroll back and see what they've been doing over time. You can make adjustments to the inverter charger, turn it on. I turn it off at night to make sure that it's not chewing down on the battery at all, and nothing's going wrong while I'm asleep, so that helps me sleep better. Other than that, there's no obvious integration into our space in the van. We haven't really given up much. A bit of space underneath the seat that we never really used, and the bit above the fridge that was left over from when we pulled the microwave out, which we probably wouldn't have used anyway. So,
Microwave popcorn, that was it.
yeah, microwave
No,
popcorn.
just make popcorn the old-fashioned way.
That's our solar system. If you've got any questions, you want to know why we've done things a certain way or haven't used different bits of equipment, shoot us a comment, send me a message. Thanks.